Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at just some of our classwork and some of our homework problems using the repeated subtraction method for division. And here's our first problem. It's 29 divided by 6. Now let's say that I only know a few of my 6 facts. The only things I know are 6 times 1 through 6 times 3. I can still solve this problem with just those 3 facts. So first is 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. And 6 times 3 is 18. And I'm going to look at these 3 facts and these 3 products and decide which one of these products is going to get me the closest to 29, my dividend. Because I have 29 and I want to take away some groups of 6. So I'll go ahead and use this one. 6 times 3 is 18. It's the closest to 29. So I'll write this out to the side because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 groups of 6 away from 29. Now 3 groups of 6 is 18. So we'll subtract here. 9 minus 8 is 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Now I have 11 left. I'll come back to my products. 18 is too many, 12 is too many, so I'll use 6. And the fact here is 6 times 1. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take one group of 6 away from 11. And one group of 6 is 6. And I know 11 minus 6 is 5. Now I can see that this number here, what I have left, is smaller than my divisor, which means that I won't be able to take away any more groups of 6. I won't be able to make another group of 6 because I only have 5. So this number is now my remainder. I took away 3 groups of 6 and 1 group of 6, and 3 groups plus 1 group is 4 groups of 6 with a remainder of 5. So again, 3 groups of 6, 1 group of 6 equals 4 groups of 6 with a remainder of 5. Here's our next homework problem again. Let's say I learned a couple more 6 facts, and now I know 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, and 6 times 5 is 30. Even if that's all I know, I can still solve this problem. Okay? Now, first thing is, I need to get a product that's close to 59, because I'm going to subtract things from 59. And I see that 30 is the closest, so I'll go ahead and write this out to the side. We're going to do 6 times 5 equals 30. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to subtract 5 groups of 6. I'm going to take 5 groups of 6 away from 59. 9 minus 0 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. Now I have 29 left. I need to take away or subtract more groups of 6 from this. So I'll look at my products, and I think we're going to go with 6 times 4 is 24. So I'll do 6 times 4 equals 24. I'll subtract here. 9 minus 4 is 5. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay. Now this 5 here is telling me I only have 5 left. That means I can't make any more groups of 6. I can't subtract anything else, so this is now my remainder. I took away 5 groups of 6 and 4 groups of 6. If I add those together, that's 9 groups of 6 with a remainder of 5. And that is my quotient. Okay, we'll take a look at another one. Our dividend is a little bit larger, but I'm not going to even need that many more facts. So I'll go ahead and do the ones that I remember. 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30. And I know one more easy fact. Let's say I can't remember any of these but this one. And I know 6 times 10, that's 60. That's one that I remember. I need to get a product that's close to 78 because I'm going to start subtracting. So I'll go ahead and start with this one. 60 is closer to 78 than the rest of these, and it's still small enough that I can subtract it. So I'll go ahead and write this fact out. 6 times 10 equals 60. Here are my factors. 6 times 10 equals 60 is my product. And I'm taking away 10 groups of 6 from 78. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now I have 18. So I need to subtract more groups of 6 from 18. I think that's going to work out very nicely right here. Here's a fact I'll use. 6 times 3 is 18. I'll subtract from this 18. I'm going to take 3 groups of 6 away, which is 18 minus 18, and that's 0. This tells me I don't have any left to subtract. So I took away 10 groups of 6 and 3 groups of 6, That means that I had 13 groups of 6 with no remainder. 13 is my quotient. Let's look at the last problem here. It's D. Now I have moved on to 7's facts, but I think I can still figure this out, even if I'm not sure about all of them. We'll do 7 times 1 is 7, times 2 is 14, 3 is 21, 4 is 28, and I'll just stop at 35. Let's say I don't know anymore. First thing I'm going to do is look for a product that gets me close to my dividend, 67, so I'll do 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 5 equals 35. And what I'm doing is I'm doing subtracting 5 groups of 7 from 67. 7 minus 5 is 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. 32 is how many I have left. I'm going to look at my products, and we'll go right here. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 4 equals 28. I'm taking 4 groups of 7, which is 28, away from 32. 2 minus 8, I'm going to have to regroup for that, so this will become 2 10s, and this 2 1s becomes 12 ones. 12 1s minus 8 1s is 4 1s, and 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay? Now this 4 is telling me I have 4 left, but I'm trying to make groups of 7, so I don't have enough to make another group of 7. This is now my remainder. I took away 5 groups of 7, then I took away 4 groups of 7. Altogether, I took away 9 groups of 7 with a remainder of 4. Okay, we are now on to the back side of our sheet looking at our homework problems. We're going to do, I'm not going to do all of these, but we'll run through a few of them. Now, I know I have a 6 in my divisor, so I'm going to need to come up with some facts to make groups of 6. So I'll start out with 6 times 1 is 6. Times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30, and I'll just add one more down here. I know 6 times 10 is 60, and even if that's all I know, I can still solve the rest of these. So 6 times 37, I'm going to go with 6 times 5 is, 37 divided by 6. This is the one that's going to give me the closest. 6 times 5 is 30. So I'll write 6 times 5 equals 30. 7 minus 0 is 7. 3 minus 3 is 0. Now this 7 is telling me I still have enough to make one more group of 6 because my what's left here, my difference, is still greater than my divisor. So I can still make another group of 6. And I can make exactly one group of 6. So we'll do 6 times 1 equals 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now this is telling me I have not enough to make another group of 6 because I only have one remainder. Took away 5 groups of 6, took away 1 group of 6. That is 6 groups of 6 total with a remainder of 1. First quotient. We'll skip 2, but let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. 81 divided by 6. I'm going to use the same set of facts. I'll start with, I know my dividend is 81, so I'm going to need to get a product that gets me close enough and make sure I get that 0 in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. 1 minus 0 is 1. 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, so now my difference that I have left is 21. I have enough to make some more groups of 6. So I'll take a look here, I think. 24 is going to be too large. Let's go with 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to have to regroup here. 2 10s becomes 1 10, and 1 1 becomes 11 1s. 11 1s minus 8 1s is 3 1s. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'm left with 3. 3 as a difference is smaller than my divisor. That means I can't make any more groups of 6. I had subtracted 10 groups of 6, subtracted 3 groups of 6. I'm left with 13, remainder 3. And that's my quotient. Okay, we'll take a look at number 4, and this will be the last one that I do. This has an 8 as my divisor, so I know I'm going to need some 8 facts because I'm going to be taking away groups of 8. So we'll just start with the first few that I know. 8 times 1 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40. And I'll just stop there. Let's say that's all I know. 8 times 5 is 40 is my closest fact to 78 is my dividend. So I'll start there. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 4 is 3. 38 is how many I have left. After taking away 5 groups of 8, I now have 38 left. 40 is going to be too many. 32 looks like it'll work. So the fact is 8 times 4 equals 32. 8 minus 2 is 6. 3 minus 3 is 0. So now I'm left with 6. This 6 is telling me I can't make any more groups of 8 because I only have 6. Not enough to make a group of 8. This is now my remainder. I took away 5 groups of 8. Then I subtracted 4 groups of 8. I'm left with 9 groups of 8 with a remainder of 6. And this is my quotient. Hopefully that helped you understand a little bit how we're doing our repeated subtraction with the Big 7 method of division.